Good morning. Today we'll have a talk with the migration agent, Mr. Lazar. How are you today?
Good, thank you. Good morning to you and to your viewers as well.
I'm happy to see you here again. And today we would like to talk about tourist visa. Are you ready?
Yes, of course. I'm always ready.
Okay, thank you very much.
Let me know what you want to know.
Yes, the first question I would like to ask you that who can apply for tourist visa? And do you know the age limitations?
Okay, so tourist visa does not have any age limits. So it doesn't matter how old you are, you can apply for a tourist visa. The only limitation is if a person is under 18 years of age, they will need to have arrangements for someone to look after them. Okay, so they either need to come with their parents or they need to have arrangements for someone to look after them. Apart from that, there are no limitations for a tourist visa. However, depending on your age, it may be easier or more difficult to apply for this visa. So it really depends on your age and depends on where you're from. It depends on a number of things, but there is no limit. You can be 18, you can be 81. You can still apply for a tourist visa.
Wow, that is good. It means each person has a chance to go to Australia for some period of time.
Yes, as long as they meet the requirements for the visa, everyone is pretty much able to apply. There is no restrictions based on age.
Let's continue with the second question. What do you think, how much time does it take for applying this tourist visa till the time when I get the sticker in the passport?
Okay, first thing is, in Australia, there are no stickers in the passports anymore. The visa is electronic. So your visa is recorded onto a system that is connected with your passport. So there is no sticker. Now, for how long it takes, this is quite difficult to explain, but it really depends on which visa a person is applying for. And it depends on the circumstances, and it depends when they're applying. It depends where they're applying from. So all these things have to be taken into account. Some visas can be decided within a week or two. Other visas might take a few months for a decision. So it's very, very relative, depending on where you're from, depending on when you apply. Because, for example, in summer, in Australian summer, which would be December, especially New Year and Christmas period, there's a lot of people applying to visit Australia, a lot. So it takes longer for the decision to be made because there's so many applications.
What about summer in Uzbekistan? It means the months June, July, August, these 3 months.
That would be winter in Australia. So it will be a little bit cooler, and I think generally there's less applications. So processing time would usually be a little bit quicker. But again, it really depends on the situation. So what I can do, there's many different types of visitor visas. I'm just sharing my screen with you. So there's many different types of visitor visas. This is just one of them, okay? It doesn't mean that this is the best visa for a person. I'm just giving you an example. This visa, when applied from overseas, would have waiting periods. 25% of people would get a decision in a day. 50% of people will get a decision within 6 days. 75% of people will get a decision within 26 days. And most of the people will get a decision within 37 days. So it's not too bad.
Okay, let's move to another question.
Yes.
What kind of documents are required to apply for tourist visa?
Okay, so this is again very individual because, of course, you have the basic documents. Everyone needs to have a passport. Everyone needs to complete an application form and answer the questions. But then, in addition to that, depending on what country your passport is from, you may need to provide additional and different documents. Usually, it's a good idea to show that you have enough money to support yourself when you're going to Australia. Now, how much money? That would depend on how long you're going for. Usually visitor visas, especially these classes, are granted for up to 3 months. So a person can stay up to 3 months in Australia. And depending on the situation, a person might be asked to provide evidence that they have work in their home country. It's a good idea if they have a good visa history as well. However, it really depends which country the applicant lives in and what country passport they have. So for example, if someone is applying for a visa from Uzbekistan, it's a good idea for them to be able to show evidence that they have been to other countries and gone back to Uzbekistan. It's good to show that they have a job, to go back to wages, savings. Having said that, it may be easier for a person, even though they have a Uzbek passport, who is living in England or Germany or Korea and Japan. I'm mentioning Korea and Japan because there's a lot of students from Uzbekistan who are studying in Korea and Japan. It may be easier for them, and they may have a better chance of getting a visitor visa for Australia than for someone who is living in Uzbekistan and has never gone to other countries. Yeah? So it really depends. Each case needs to be assessed individually. Okay.
Okay, clear. Let's move to another question. Can you tell me approximate costs for applying touristic visa for 3 months and for 15 days?
There is no difference. So when you apply for this visa, there's many different tourist visas. So we're just looking at one of them at the moment. It really depends on what country passport the person holds. There are other visas here that we can look at. You have the 600, or that's the one we looked at. We have the 601, we have the 651. However, we'll focus on this one here, which is the subclass 600. This visa, that's the same one here, subclass 600. This visa, the application itself, just the paperwork, costs $145. And the visa can be granted up to 12 months. So a person may use this visa to stay in Australia for up to 12 months. It doesn't matter whether you apply for 1 month or you apply for 12 months, the application fee is the same. However, they may also need to apply and do health checks, depending on how long they want to stay, depending on their age, depending if they have any medical conditions, which countries they've lived in and visited. They may also need to pay for health checks. That also costs money, but the fees are determined by the clinic where they'll be doing the health checks. So that's something outside the visa scope. But overall, generally 145 Australian dollars, regardless of time.
Where we can make a medical check?
Medical checks, there's special panel doctors, and it really depends where the person is living. There is a special search facility within the department's website where we can find medical centers where the medicals can be made. Only specific panel doctors can be used. But that really depends on where the person is from and if they need to do medical. In some cases, there is no need for medical.
I see. One more question. How long can I stay in Australia using my tourist visa?
It really depends on the case officer, case officer decision rather. It depends on the person's circumstances, on the applicant's circumstances. The visa can be granted for a month with, the ability to stay for a month, or sometimes it could be given up to 12 months with the ability to stay up to 12 months with any one visa. So it really depends on the circumstances and depends on the actual application and the decision that's going to be made based on this application.
That is good. That is good. Okay, what kind of advice would you like to give to our followers who would like to go to Australia as a tourist?
First thing is get prepared very well, especially if you come from a higher risk country. Certain countries are considered higher risk. So get prepared very well. Make sure you have enough savings, make sure that you prepare as many documents as possible, make sure that you provide as much evidence as possible. That would increase your chances of success. And if you need any assistance, we'll be happy to help you.
Clear. Thank you very much. Okay, let's finish today's video, and I hope next time we'll talk about student visa.
Beautiful. We'll be happy to do that.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.